Hello, I'm Rachael from Echidna and thanks for joining me in creating something special with our 2024 community project, Flowers in the Sun. We'll be joining forces once again with sewists, embroiderers and crafters throughout Australia to create a patchwork quilt in support of the Australian Melanoma Research Foundation. The AMRF is a not-for-profit charity organisation that supports research, awareness and early detection of melanoma, the most deadly form of skin cancer. Our aim for this community project is to create a symbol of hope and solidarity for all those who have been touched by melanoma and a reminder of the need for more research and action to fight this disease. Creating Flowers in the Sun nudges us to remember the significance of being sun smart in our sunburnt country and serves as a timely reminder to get regular skin checks. This project is also a fun way to challenge yourself and learn some new creative techniques and let your craft shine to create something meaningful. So, the big question is, how can I contribute? Like we did in 2023, participation is open to any creator in Australia. All you need to do is choose which type of block that you'd like to make, create your piece and then send it in to us. There are 5 types of different blocks you can choose from. So you can choose an HTV block, so that's heat transfer vinyl. There's sewing machine applique. We have machine embroidery, of course, and we have 2 different styles of machine embroidery applique for you to choose from. From March to June 2024, we're going to show you how to create each block using the different techniques. So get your creating mojo on and let's get started. Welcome back and thanks for joining me to create the final block for our Flowers in the Sun community project. Today we are working with a scan and cut machine and we're going to create a block with yellow and black heat transfer vinyl. Lately I've been using HTV for different elements in my quilts and it creates a different effect, so I'm sure you're going to love the look as much as I do. Let's get started with the materials you'll need to make this block. First of all, I have printed the Flowers in the Sun SVG pattern and that's for my placement. There is a blue background fabric like all the other blocks. We are sticking with a plain blue and I'll show you how to divide that up shortly for us to put our HTV onto. These are the tools for scan and cut. You'll need a brayer, weeding tools. I've got this just for good measure. I have some yellow HTV for the flower petals and the black for the centre. We are using the low tack adhesive mat. I've got my wool pressing mat, my mini iron. Of course, you will need your scan and cut and the design loaded onto the USB so that we can cut, and so it is the SVG design that you download. Okay, so first things first, we need to retrieve the design on our scan and cut so we know what we're cutting. So let's do that. I'll just touch the screen to wake up the scan and cut. And we will retrieve data. And it's on the USB, so I select this icon. And I am going to go down to find my single design, which is not here, it's actually in my folder. So we'll go here, and it should say Flowers in the Sun SVG. So this is the design that we're going to use. Choose OK. So first thing we're going to do is separate the elements. There's no need to do any other editing because our design team has already flipped the design. So to do that, we just touch the large petal box and they have all been grouped together. I'm just going to move it to the side. So that gives me 2 elements. I've got my flower center and I have my flower here. So now I'm ready to put my HTV on the mat and then we'll start cutting. So let me just get all these things out of the way. So So we're using the low-tack mat today. Let's put that there. And not sure if you remember with scan and cut, but placing your HTV should be not this way. So we're going this side down, so shiny side down. And I will use my brayer just to adhere it to the mat. I will scan this so I can see that my positioning is correct. And then the square will be, and I'm actually looking at the screen here and counting. We are 1, 2, 3 squares down and 1, 2, 3 squares over. So it'll be 1, 2, 3 squares down, 1, 2, 3 squares over, just so I can position. It means I probably won't have to move this too much, and I do tend to do that with scan and cut with HTV, is just try and find the spot so don't have to do too much moving on the screen. So now I'm going to place the low-tack mat into the machine. I'm going to load it. So I've loaded the mat, ready to go. We're just going to scan. So scan the mat and show as the background, which is what I want to do because I want to see that the placement's correct for my HTV. So we've scanned successfully. I can see that this design is on the yellow, and that's where I need it to be. I might move it down just slightly so it's in more of the centre of the yellow. And I can't tell if the black is in position. So let me have a closer look here. It's up in the corner. And I've moved it successfully to the centre of the black. The black is a little harder to see, so I hope you captured that. So once we're happy with the position of our designs, choose OK. And then we have to select what we want to do. In this case, we want to cut, so we'd select cut. Now before we go ahead, we need to check our half cut setting is on for our heat transfer vinyl. So go into here. And I'm fine with those, so we'll go here, and half cut is on, so that's fantastic. Everything's as it should be. Go OK. One thing I am going to do is a test cut, so that's to make sure that my allocated settings are OK. It should be fine there. Let me start that test cut. So it's just going to do a tiny triangle on the HTV, and I will grab my pick, and all I'm doing is checking that it is cutting to the correct depth. Half cut is right. Okay, so just peel the triangle off, and I've just got my pick tool here. I'm just making sure it will peel off and that the protective layer stays on, and look at that, it's perfect. Okay. So we are good to cut. So we just press start and our vinyl will cut. So it's finished cutting. I'm going to go OK. I'll release my mat and we will peel it off. Got it. Some of these tasks you need fingernails for. So I'm going to take this off the mat and then we will weed. So all you need to do for weeding is grab the outer area, because we just want the flower centre. If we look at our design here, we just want this. So I'm just going to pull this off. That's one. It's come out really well. And then for this one, same thing, but there's a little bit more to weed. So just kind of got to get it started. And this is a matter of, I find, pushing and pulling the best for this. And I only started here because it was where the triangle was. And the protective sheet is sticky, so that's why I'm kind of looking a little awkward, but once I get it to the edge, it will come off relatively easily. It's good to use all these other tools that we've got to hold it down with the stickiness. Okay, so now that we've got that, I can do this. You can see I'm kind of holding it flat and gently pulling. The HTV does have a little bit of stretch in it, but I'm moving my fingers in to the edge of the design as I'm pulling, and you can see that it's coming away really easily. Just going around, pulling gently to remove the background HTV. What I love about using this product is it's quick and it looks really stunning. These colours are very, very vibrant. There's so many things you can do. So for the video, I'm using my mini iron and the wool pressing mat. But if you've got a heat press at home, by all means you can use that. But really convenient and do a good job as well. But you'd need to check the timing for your heat press. Okay, so I have two pieces that go together. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just put these up here, and I'm going to show you how to make sure that your block lines up. So let me put this here. And like I did with applique, I'm just going to fold this in half to create a triangle, and I just will do that. I don't want it to be too firm in the centre because it can leave a mark on the HTV. But if I do that, that gives me the guidelines that I need. Now the first thing I'm going to press is actually the flower centre, and I try and get this pretty much the same as the Australian Melanoma Research Foundation logo positioning, because it is a logo. So I will put that right bang smack in the centre. And with my mini iron, I'm actually just going to press and hold for a couple of seconds. It doesn't need very long. If you leave it for too long, that protective sheet may burn, but really we're just adhering. The protective sheet is getting the heat through to the HTV and it's sticking, so you can see that came off really easily. The next step is, with this as my direction, I'm going to place the petals on. So I'm looking at this and this, so that's the centre and the square person, and just using my eye to check that it looks good, and I think it does. I think that block is positioned well. So I'm going to get my mini iron again, and I'm just going to put heat on each petal. And that's just a press and hold for a couple of seconds. It's not for any major length of time. Rotate this round. And it might be that we have to press it again with the mini iron. The reason I'm doing it this way is because I've already pressed the black, and it is layered. It won't hurt it if I went from the centre, but best to be safe than sorry. Now just gently peel this back. As you can see, if there were any areas that hadn't adhered, I would stop and iron again. But you can see that is perfect. That is our HTV block completed. Isn't it magnificent? I just love those colours. Thanks for joining me in making this block today, and don't forget to check out the other blocks if you want to make a machine embroidery applique or a sewing machine applique. You might really enjoy making one of those too.